Hi everyone, happy new year and happy 2021. We all made it. What a year it's been. I just wanted to make this video to basically reflect on what has happened in the last year because it's been one hell of a year. First of all, I just want to address obviously the nationwide lockdown that we're in the UK currently. And I'm not gonna lie, I am petrified because I've been through this twice before, and obviously having to be a shielded person, I really do dislike that word. It's just a bit scary really, and just means that I can't really go to the supermarket anymore and stuff like that. So I will be trying to keep myself as busy as possible. So a few things I just wanted to update everyone on. If you don't follow my social medias, a lot has happened in the last week. I no longer now have my Jasmine's Journey separate Instagram page. I decided to just bite the bullet and just make my main Instagram all about everything, and I've merged the two into one basically. So if you don't follow my Instagram, it's at Jasmine Shen, so it's my actual name, and Jasmine's Journey no longer exists. However, that doesn't mean to say that I'm not still posting the same content that I did on my Jasmine's Journey Instagram page. It's now just all going onto my main Instagram page. Second update is that I have updated my Linktree link. You'll see that either in the description box below, or if you go on my channel, it will be by the banner art at the bottom. And on there's just loads of links. To my YouTube channel. There's one button that links you to several kidney disease charities. There's a button for Black Lives Matter. There's also a button to help ban prescription charges for the chronically ill in the UK, because we are still paying for prescriptions when... Anyway, that's a really massive tangent I could go down, but that's not for today's video. So yeah, Linktree link has been updated. And also, if you haven't noticed, then I have updated my YouTube banner art. And I did try several ones, but I think this is the one that I like for now. So for 2021, we'll stick with this banner art and I won't change it anymore. I want to just discuss what I learned in 2020, because again, it was one heck of a year. And I feel like for my whole 23 years of living, honestly, I've not had a break. And that sounds really, really stupid, because you might think, well, you had your childhood, you had this, you had that. Well, actually, if you know me personally, you will know that I was the kid at school who literally had 1,001 after school activities. And I am extremely grateful for that. However, because of that, I feel like I've never really had a proper break. I started dancing when I was age 4. And then I started piano, started swimming, started netball. I literally did every single after school club you could think of. And obviously stemming from my dance hobby, that then turned into my career. So luckily I was extremely, extremely lucky, and I'm so grateful to have the job in Six the Musical straight out of college. And obviously that took me out for a year. So I never really got to live that proper grad life where I kind of sort my life out and I'm like, okay, what do I want to do on the side as like a side hustle job? What do I want to do in my spare time? Because I had no spare time and I was living on a ship for a year. I feel like since lockdown 2020 March, that was kind of the time where I kind of reset my life, had time off to think maybe a bit too much about things. I did get in a bit of a really bad mental health mindset, kind of rabbit hole type thing in lockdown number 1, which wasn't great. And I do think it's because I've never been able to have that time off and to think about my life and who I am and what's my purpose and what's my goal and all that deep stuff. I just want to reflect on how I'm feeling now and what I've learned, A, about my life during 2020, and B, about situations in life. The first thing I learned was to definitely be kinder to yourself. I have always been a perfectionist, to the point where I stress myself out so much because things aren't perfect or things haven't gone the way that they're planned. And actually I realised in 2020, life is not how you plan it. I had so many plans for when I'd got back from the ship. I was like, yeah, I'm going to move back to London. It's just little things like that is out of your control, and I would really, really beat myself up about it and just be like, oh, it isn't going to plan, and oh, why is this happening, why, when actually I was just like thinking that I was a failure because I couldn't achieve these goals. Just be kind to yourself. And that kind of ties in with number 2, which is it's okay to feel shit. I'm going to put it bluntly, it's okay to feel shit. I used to always believe that if I suppressed all my feelings and then had like a mental breakdown once a month, that was kind of okay, but actually it's really not that healthy. What I used to do was every time I would feel some sort of like negative or sad emotion, I would literally suppress it to the point where I would pretend that everything was okay when actually really wasn't. This is probably one of the major things that I've learned in 2020 is it is okay to feel shit. It is okay to not want to get out of bed, not make your bed, stay in your pajamas all day, watch Netflix all day, eat a load of shit. Like, it's okay, because actually you need time off. And I know that right now, especially in the industry that I'm in, God bless our industry, musical theatre and film industry, it's dead. Nothing is happening. And it's really shit. We're not getting enough funding from the government, etc, etc. And it is really hard because I feel like we have been completely forgotten about. And I think it's really hard to allow yourself to think of things to do, for one. I don't know. Having the days to allow yourself to feel like crap and to wallow in your own sorrows is okay. That also ties in, these all tie in with each other. If you already have watched my YouTube videos in the past, you will know that I had a relapse back in October, I think it was, and that sucked. That really, really sucked. I was kidney strong, as they say, for nearly 4 years, and I honestly think it was because my mood was so low, and I also caught a cold in September, which wasn't great, and I think that was probably another cause for having a relapse. And I just think I just felt like crap, basically, and it didn't help the situation. My mental health was awful. My physical health was obviously not great either. And going through a relapse really does suck. But another thing I learned in 2020 was you can get through it. You can get through it. Like right now, I mean, I'll do another video about a health update because that's a whole nother story. But things are going well, fingers crossed. And it's not the end of the world. Having a relapse is obviously awful. However, you can get through it. I've been through it 4 times now. And I remember the first year when I was diagnosed, I relapsed 3 times. And it was honestly the worst year of my entire life. But somehow I got through it. So I just had to keep reminding myself, you can do it. You've done it 3 times before. You can do it for a 4th time. 2020 learned for me to just be resilient and just stay strong. And it is shit having a kidney disease sometimes, but you know what, that's just what my life is now, and I kind of have to deal with it and trying to deal with it in the most positive way that I can. Point number 4, what I learned, and I already knew this, but I think especially in 2020 it was so much more important, and that is to cherish your friends and family. So many times I feel like I've probably taken my friends and family for granted, and just they got me through lockdown number 1, 2, and now the next lockdown, I know they'll get me through this one. And even little things like having phone calls with them, sending little letters to each other, just checking up on how each other are doing. And actually, you realise it's not just you who feel shit, it's also your friends and family who also feel really crap. And last year, unfortunately, I did lose my granddad. It was nothing to do with coronavirus, it was just unfortunate that he passed away. And I lost a lot of people actually last year, but we won't go into that. Very emotional, and it just makes you realise life is short and to never take anyone for granted. And I already did know that, but I really feel like I really understood what it meant during 2020, especially during the pandemic. And number 5 kind of leads back to number 2, and that is to keep yourself busy and have a purpose every day. Again, when I was talking about during lockdown number 1, I felt really crap and really low. Actually, I felt once I got into a better routine and actually got changed every day, like it's just little things. Like I used to just stay in my pajamas all day, every day, and that was okay for like the odd occasional day. But when you're doing it every single day, it's kind of like, wait, what? Like, why am I'm living, but I have no life, if that makes sense. And I was like, no, Jazz, you just need to get your shit together and just at least get changed every day. Set yourself a goal for that day, even if it's just making your bed, going for a walk, cooking a nice tea for yourself, calling your friend. And again, I think going back to the point of I've never lived that proper grad life until now, it's just figuring out what works for me in my spare time, because obviously in the industry I'm in, you're never always going to be in work, and you always need to figure out how you're going to spend your spare time and how to spend it wisely. Don't let the time waste away, basically. And just, for me anyway, I personally feel like I need to have like achieved something, even if it's literally like filming this YouTube video. For me, that's achieving something. Points number 6 and 7 kind of tie in with each other, but one thing that I absolutely learned from 2020 was that I love to walk. And that sounds really silly, but I love going for walks. And it's just a really nice way to just get some fresh air, get your steps in, get your heart rate going. I've lived in this town for my whole life. Like, I was born in this town, and I literally have discovered so many new things just by going on walks, and it's been great. And it's just a really nice way to get rid of any like sort of anxiety that's like hanging over my head. And sometimes I'll call Charlie when I'm on a walk, and it's just nice to be outside and speak to someone. And it's just a really nice way to get some fresh air, because I don't know about anyone else, but I could spend about a whole week indoors and then realise by the end of the week I haven't gone outside. That is probably why I sometimes felt really crap, because I just didn't leave the house. Going on walks was definitely my saviour of 2020. And then that brings us to point number 7. I discovered, I think her name is EMK Fit on YouTube and Instagram. And obviously being a dancer, basically the way I work with exercise, I hate, like, you'll never catch me in a gym unless it's for swimming, because I find repetitive things they're not very stimulating for me, and I get quite bored really easily. I discovered EMK Fit, and my friend Nicole told me about her, so I YouTubed her, and she's great. I did her High School Musical 1 workout, and oh my god, it was the best thing I've ever done. And it's just great to have a laugh and dance around, but actually feel like you're doing something as well. I haven't been to a dance class, obviously, in a very, very long time because of lockdown and being on the ship and whatever. So just having a little bit of a boogie with EMK Fit on YouTube was the best thing that I've ever decided to do. One big thing I learned, point number 8, is to take care of your body through your diet and your lifestyle. Obviously, since 4 years ago when I got wait, is it 4 years ago or nearly 5 years ago now? Oh, I don't know, time's gone too quickly. Anyway, since I got diagnosed with this kidney disease, I have obviously over the years progressively changed my diet and also my lifestyle. So I've not gone on a diet, I've just changed up my diet because I have very random dietary restrictions. I just think by really focusing on that last year, whilst I've had the time off, 2020, I really focused on looking at new recipes, looking at different ways to cook things, because actually I realised before I left for the cruise, I was just kind of eating chicken and sweet potato and veg every day, which was really boring. So I've been trying to like mix it up a little bit and just, I don't know, spice it up in the kitchen, if you pardon the pun. I do feel like it's really been, I don't know, it's just been really fun, just trying new foods, trying new ways to cook things. And also me and Charlie tried a lot of recipes when he isolated with me during lockdown number 2, and that was always fun. However, sometimes things would turn out really gross and disgusting, and then I learned not to do that again. Changing up my lifestyle and my diet really helped in 2020. Number 9 is a big one for me. I can be a very stubborn person. I can also feel very guilty about things. For example, if I had an argument with someone, I would never think to either talk about what's happened during the argument with that person, or even try to come to like a conclusion of why we're upset with each other. And if it was my fault and I'd know it was my fault, I would never apologise, because that's just the person who I am. Well, who I was. I'm trying to work on that. I definitely learned, and this actually stemmed from being on the cruise ship, just to forgive and forget. And if you've had an argument with someone, just talk about it. And actually that really helped whilst I started back on my steroid medication, because honestly, those steroids play havoc with your emotions and they just make you so effing angry, it's unreal. And I feel like Charlie definitely got the brunt of it. And it just really helped, because if we had an argument, say, like, it would be over nothing, it would be my fault because I'd just lash out for no reason. And it's just, you feel so much better if you just talk about what's happened, apologise and move on. Whereas the old me, if it were, my old habits, I would literally be like, no, it's your fault, it's not my fault, I'm not apologising. And it's actually quite immature, so I was just like, no, I need to sort that out, because that's not a good way of living, and it's really not good for, I don't know, I just feel like it's not very good for your soul. And finally, we come to point number 10, which is just to be yourself. I feel like since I started college for my 3 years to get my degree, that was around the time that I got diagnosed with my kidney disease, and moving to London, starting a new course, just starting my actual life, it was really daunting and really scary. And actually, I feel like I lost a lot of my own personality and my own views and own opinions. Going to a dance school, it kind of, I'm not going to say it brainwashes you, I just feel like you're very suppressed to have your own opinions, because you know what, I don't know why, it just happens. As much as I enjoyed my training, I didn't actually realise that I'd lost all sense of personality. I just think during my time, A, during the ship, and B, during the lockdowns last year, I really discovered This sounds really like I discovered who I am, but seriously, like I really did discover who I am again, because obviously before I started training I was 18 years old. I'm now 23, so a lot has happened since then. My life has changed drastically, and a lot in the world has happened as well. A lot of things that I can be opinionated on. I feel like I have changed a lot, and I am very much more open about the way I feel. If you follow me on my Instagram, you know I'm very open, very, very open, and now I just kind of just say it how it is. I used to do that, but not as much, because I was always scared that someone would just try and beat my opinion down. But actually, that's the way life works. You have an opinion, someone else has a different opinion, you're gonna clash with some people, it doesn't matter. I just realised either way, whatever you do, someone out there is gonna judge you. So who cares? Just be yourself. So those are the main 10 points that I learned throughout 2020, and this was a very rambly and chatty video, but I just feel like we needed a good debrief of 2020 and what the heck happened, because I don't know, a lot happened in 2020. I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who has decided to A, support my decision on Instagram, and B, just supporting this channel and my views on kidney disease awareness in general. I do think it's really important just to try and normalise the kidney disease stigma, and also invisible illnesses, because obviously to look at me you wouldn't think that I had a kidney disease, and people still get shocked when I tell them. I'm like, well, you wouldn't know because you can't see kidney disease. And if you don't follow my Instagram, it is now Jasmine Shen and no longer Jasmine's Journey. And if you haven't already, then please subscribe to my channel, it really helps me out. Thank you very much. And Happy New Year, guys. I really wish you all a healthy and happy 2021 despite what happens. Let's hope that we can roll out this vaccine and coronavirus will be gone by 2022, because I'm not having another shit year. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!